you and I will disagree on the person, but I did agree with one thing Trump wanted to do. It's great to build a 9/11 memorial. I got no problem with that. What's the greatest fuck you to the people who attacked us? Build the towers.
Right.
Rebuild them. Trump was going to do it, and he was shot down. They said, no, we're not going to rebuild them. Fuck you!
Well, they're putting in its place what is going to be the tallest building in the world.
Yeah, I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, no, it's in the middle of being constructed.
I thought they were going to replace the towers with two, like, they would be like square buildings, like the base is square, and then like think of like it goes like it's square and then it tapers on two sides and comes up.
Yeah,
I remember it was maybe like a year or so after
like.
that. That's what they were talking about, putting two of them up. But maybe they're just they're putting a
that
memorial on one and rebuilding a tall tower on the other.
I'd have to go.
This was years back when I saw
It would be an
this.
interesting compromise if they do a memorial on one site and then an actual
they
building
do.
on another,
Yeah.
and then that way it kind of is like a dual fuck you.
Yeah.
Because people I feel like are split down the middle between memorial and a rebuild. And I feel like
they're getting
needs
both.
to be
They're getting both because there is a
I would
memorial
hope that
there.
they do get both.
There is a memorial, and it's on the site of the original towers, and it is if I'm not sadly mistaken, there's a pool of water, and then there's the wall with the names. If I'm not sadly mistaken, I tried as best I could to avoid watching a lot of that because it's as emotional as it is.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not dealing with it. I've thought about it an awful lot, and I have all sorts of DVDs that were put out at the time that show you pretty much whatever you want to see. There's a documentary actually done by a couple of French guys that had friends in the New York Fire Department. That was the best one as far as I'm concerned because what it showed was from their perspective. That's not why they came there. They came there just to do a story about their friends in the fire department and happened to walk into that event. And just all they did was film that day while it was going on and what they were doing, and their friend finally makes it back to the firehouse and all this other stuff. But it was fascinating to me, and it wasn't overly glorified patriotic with the humdrum, with the music trying to make you feel things and all that. It was really riveting.
What were you doing?
Thought that,
when?
10 years ago.
Oh, what I was doing? Well, I'd been up quite late. I was not employed at the time. And I'd been up quite late, and I woke up at 10 o'clock, around 10 o'clock in the morning, which was kind of standard at the time. And what I usually do is I go check and see what's going on in the news. So I put CNN on, and I can't remember his name. He's a wonderful reporter that didn't actually use the word guy in a conversation.
And we come full circle.
Yeah, and we come full circle, exactly. And he was a wonderful reporter, and he was talking, and then tower falling is happening in front of me. And I screamed and yelled, and I said, "Motherfucking son of a bitch." I said, "That's fucking Osama bin Laden." And that was on September 11th, 2001 that I said that. So it's not exactly hard to figure out who did it. And then Killa D says, "What, Fran? What's going on?" And I started trying to explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh, my Lord." And that's what. And then the next thing I did was pick up the cell phone to call my family in Maryland, and couldn't get through. And
That's understandable.
And because everybody was trying to get
Exactly.
a hold of
That
the DC.
telephone system was just shut shit out of it.
Yep, and then when I finally got a hold of somebody, they said, "No, we're fine." But my brother-in-law was in the vicinity of the Pentagon when that occurred, and had to go into cleanup mode afterwards because of the job that he had at the time. Was doing that, so yeah.
So he had to clean up.
Huh?
So he had to clean up the debris, the dead bodies, all of that.
From my understanding, yeah.
What were you doing?
I was a senior in high school, and
So you were actually in class when it happened?
And I think there were a couple classes where we watched the news, but it was mostly just gossip and rumors in the hallways and at the lockers, and I think they made a couple of just standard announcements, like there has been, a tragedy up in New York and also at the Pentagon, and I think one, maybe 2 classes we watched CNN instead of actually having class. But there were some classes that were like, look, I know there's a lot going on right now, but you're in my class. I think it was math class too. They were like, you're in fucking math class. We're going to do math. And that was...
Try to distract the kids,
Yeah.
basically.
What were you doing?
I was in middle school. I think it was 7th grade it had been done. And we heard about it. I think one of the teachers told us, and the teachers put it on. And they had the news playing in class, and we were watching it, and the principal came in, told us to turn it off, or told the teacher to turn it off, but I think we ended up turning it back on, actually watching and see what was happening. I mean, back then I was, maybe 12 or so.
12,
I
yeah.
didn't really understand it. Like, I knew something bad had happened, but it wasn't really it wasn't very impactful, I guess, until, maybe a few years later.
That's
then I really kind of understood like I was able to process it,
That's really interesting because the only thing I can compare it to that to you guys is when Kennedy was assassinated. I was 7,
That's exactly what my mother said.
and I was in school, and in California, this particular school, the teacher had a telephone at her desk, and the floors were carpeted in the classrooms. It was a nice public school. And I'm sure it's all ripped up now, but anyway.
It's a whole nother story.
Yeah, exactly. So there I go again. Shiny? But I remember she got a phone call, got ashen-faced, and said, kids, I need to tell you this, the president has been shot, and so what I want you to do, and this was before it was inappropriate to say things like this. She said, just take some time. We're not gonna do anything right now. Just pray for the president. And a little while later, she gets another phone call and said the president was dead. And I remember that hit me like a ton of bricks, even though I was only 7. But when it really hit me was when I walked outside and I looked up at the school flagpole, and the flag was at half-mast. That's when it really got me. And I looked at that and I went, wow. And then, however many, 2 or 3 days later when Oswald was shot, I was watching TV. And I saw that, and I went to my Icelandic grandmother, and I said, he's been shot. And she said, I've been watching too many cowboy movies, that can't be.
No.
And I said, no, please come in. And so my mom and my grandmother came in and went, oh my God. But that's the closest thing I have to being in school in a situation like what you guys experienced happen. And it sounds like it's kind of similar. It sounds like it was difficult to process for me too, because I hadn't experienced death at all.
But look at the difference in the 2 stories with how the school system handled the situation. In your story, the teacher actually made an announcement to the class, told them what was going on, and gave you some quiet time to process it, to pray, whatever you felt like doing.
Right.
In Nameless's case, they were told to turn it off. Don't let them know. Don't let them hear about it.
The principal said turn it off.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And that's
so
2 different.
typical now.
And I mean, to say something like turn
That's
it
like-
off, don't acknowledge it,
That's like sanitizing.
gives the impression that it's going to be discussed at home. But you have a lot of people in this country that assume that certain things are going to be discussed at the school.
Well,
So
yeah,
it brings up this
in
whole issue of
retrospect,
who's going to talk about it if you both tell them to shut up.
in retrospect,
Exactly.
I was in school watching the Challenger explode, and we
talked
kept,
about that.
We kept watching because it was part of our assignment. We were talking about astronauts and NASA and stuff like that, and it was live, televised live. And I remember we were watching it, and then it looked like it exploded, or something looked like it exploded, and then there was nothing but a silent. It was a silent room because we're like mouth all hanging open,
Yeah.
and then they showed a close up of it, and then that's when we realized it exploded. But we kept watching.
Right.
And so it made the newspapers, of course, and then I remember my mom had picked up the copy of the newspaper. We had to go pick up my dad, who was actually literally in news isolation because this was right when he was retiring. So he was doing a lot of paperwork to get out of the military and everything like that. So when we went to go pick him up, my mom just handed him the newspaper. And all he could say was, wow.
Yeah.
And so I just recently asked my mother if she still had that newspaper. But what I was doing was survey work up at RTP. Mm-hmm. And I was going through a rough spot with my ex-wife. This is a few years before we finally split. And I was basically having my typical day. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'd rather not be here. I didn't know about it until I got into the utility van and turned on Bob and Tom.
What's that?
Radio.
No.
No. I mean, you didn't know about what? The Columbia thing?
No, I didn't know about 9/11.
This
is actually on 9/11. So I was sitting there angry with my ex. I was angry that I didn't want to be at work. And I was supposed to go out of town to Charlotte later that day with my job. Mm-hmm. And I heard about it, and Bob and Tom kept saying, this is not a joke. We've decided not to do our standard show today. This is what happened. And so I'm driving in RTP at 10 o'clock in the morning, hearing about this, going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it took me about another half hour to get to a television. Mm-hmm. And then I
Like,
watched, and all I got was angry.
Yeah, me too.
I was so
furiously
angry. Because I can understand a military target.
Right.
The Pentagon I somewhat understood because it was the administration of the military. I understood that target.
Yep.
I did not understand why they decided, well, let's use the symbol. It's not a symbol of America. It's the World Trade Center.
And it's
everybody around the world.
And it's innocent people working.
Yeah. Even, I mean,
their biggest crime that day was going to their job.
Yeah. So you had your regular American, Christian or otherwise. You had Muslims there.
Right.
You had African Americans there.
Yep.
You had people from Israel there. You had people from England there. I mean,
Yeah.
there were 4,000 people in those buildings at any given time.
Yeah.
And then he decided to, well, let's just destroy the buildings because we're not destroying a building, we're destroying a symbol. No!
They weren't even a real
You're
big
murdering
symbol.
innocent people, and that's why Mr. Osama
It was
bin Laden
part
is
of the
dead
New York
right now.
skyline, but it wasn't. I mean,
that's
McDonald's
the
is
thing.
more of a symbol of America than the
Well,
Tower.
if they really wanted to
when you
hit
look
a
at the New
symbol,
York
they should've.
skyline, you're supposed to see the towers, and now you don't.
Well, they did
So
have a
it looks-
military target. They hit the Pentagon.
Yeah, that I understood. Hitting Fort Bragg, I understand. Hitting Fort Hood, I understand. Hitting a fucking skyscraper?
Yeah.
There's no CIA agency in there. There's no FBI agency. It's a civilian building.
There's a bunch of gold buried there.
The other thing too is if they really wanted to hit a symbol with an airplane, I mean, the first thing that I think of would have been the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. I would have, I can understand hitting the Kennedy Space Center. I can understand hitting.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they had
symbols.
such
You were talking about
security.
symbols.
After
I mean,
that
Statue of Liberty
incident,
especially.
they had all kinds of surveillance around Kennedy Space Center every time they put up a mission because of the shoulder-fired BS.
Yeah.
And because now, but everything has gotten ridiculously overly secure.
Yeah,
in
I
certain
mean,
ways.
we talked
And I
about this where
understand
this wasn't handled the best way it could have been from then
No.
to now. We understand that, but
I'm
I'm just
still
saying.
waiting for the airport security to be a bit more
My question is,
manageable than what
Yeah.
they've
my
got
question
right
is,
now.
what
Yeah.
did he fucking
Stop molesting
expect?
people.
That we were just going to go, oh, we got spanked. We're sorry for whatever alleged thing you think we did or how you perceived it. Nah, you pissed us off. So the whole last 10 years, you're fucking surprised. Even England said, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
I mean, if they were going to hit a skyscraper, I would think that the Empire State Building would have been more of an American icon than the
It was until the Twin Towers were built.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah.
It was,
Oh.
the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world for a while, and then the...
No, I'm not talking about the tallest building. I'm just talking about like an icon
Right,
in American
it
culture.
became
I would think
an-
the Empire State Building.
The Empire State Building became an icon because at that time it was the tallest building in the
Okay.
world. And
And
then
because it can't come.
that and then you had
Throw in a giant gorilla and it just seals the
was it
deal.
the Twin Towers first, and then the Chicago Towers, or was it the Chicago Towers and then the Twin Towers?
Chicago and then.
The Chicago Towers became the world's tallest, and then the Twin Towers became the world's tallest.
And now
okay.
the building that they're constructing now is going to be 1,700 stories or something. It's ridiculous. It's really tall. And
So
Hell yeah.
I look at it this
Yeah.
way. I'm sorry for anybody who perceived that we did something they felt offended by, or
But
that
that's
we
not how you
wrong.
go about
That is
remedy.
not how you do it. And if
No.
you're that angry, you can go to fucking UN
Mhm.
and say, "Ugh."
Yeah, and then the UN, which is based in the United States, will fucking ignore you.
Still, there was ways to do it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
saying
don't-
that we're the
Slaughtering people is not the
no,
Exactly.
no, and it never is the.
even if we
Never.
did slaughter people, you don't reply that way.
Well,
Especially if you're supposed to be.
An eye for an eye.
this
I mean,
gets
a lot of
into
people quote
this
that.
gets
I'm
into
just
the
saying,
touchy
eye for an eye is
area
what people
where
like to watch.
we.
I understand
don't
that.
have
I'm
the
just
right to slaughter
saying.
people
I'm
either.
just saying the fucking World Trade Center should not have happened
Oh,
for
exactly.
several reasons, but mostly it should not have been a target.
Right. Oh, I would agree, and I also.
And I'm very sorry that those people did die.
Yes.
Oh well, of course.
I feel bad about it. Yeah, like I said, I was angry
Oh, I was
for
furiously.
a long time.
When
Every time I
was-
see the, I can't see the footage anymore
No, I can't either.
because every time I see the footage, I just get angry.
Yeah, I can't. I
What
can't
about
do it either.
Rescue Me?
I don't watch Rescue Me. I
They
love
don't-
Dennis Leary to
It
death,
was
but
they
I
don't
very
talk about it.
interesting the way that they because it was a topic. He's a New York firefighter. You can't not talk about it.
Yeah, right.
But the way that they chose to integrate it was very
Tactful.
interesting, tactful, and it's very moving.
Because the show's not all about it, but they do
It's
bring
not.
it up.
But it's a
Interesting.
major trigger for his current mental and emotional
yeah, I know.
state.
I haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
Mhm.
Like,
It's a pretty good
like
series.
I just started watching House, so
You're
I'm working on it.
there.
I'm gonna get there, but
At least Rescue Me is
damn you. What are you talking?
that's why I have that postcard
Yeah,
on my fridge.
I know the post.
You're supposed to see it in the skyline, and it's not there, and it just looks so empty.
Yeah, and you know,
And I'm probably going to piss somebody off because I keep talking about the buildings. When I refer to the
No.
buildings, I refer to the people as well
Of
as part
course.
of what you expect from the New York City skyline, the Manhattan
Yeah.
skyline. It's everything.
And
It's kind of like what if
democracy
somebody
and-
decided to take a rocket launcher to Mount Rushmore?
right.
You know, it's supposed to be there. It's a symbol status
You
of.
think they would have hit Mount Rushmore too? You know.
They were supposed to hit the Hoover Dam, Mount Rushmore. I heard a rumor or an article where they thought they were going to hit the Space Needle in Seattle. That there was
Something
some
in
off
LA.
chance they were going to hit Pearl Harbor again.
Right.
There's so many
Theories
theories on
yes.
what would have been a target had it continued to escalate past the 3 targets they were supposed to have hit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hope what's his name on that fucking flight is in Arlington.
Who?
The guy that said, you know what, fuck this.
Oh,
We're
he's
not
on
having
board.
our plane
His
taken.
mother was,
Was it
just
the
on TV.
Flight 451?
I don't know. He's the one that said, let's roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His mother was on TV actually, and I saw where he was very good. I can't remember.
I mean, if I'm going to go down on a plane, on my terms.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to die. I have this low threshold pain. But, you know, fuck you. I could look at you're in my country. You're on my fucking plane. You're going to do what? Now, fuck you.
Well, this is why. Well,
I think his point is more of if you're going to take me out,
Right.
I'm going to go down fighting as
Right.
opposed to
Take me.
just.
You assholes with me.
and that's
Yeah.
why I understand that visceral reaction. And what I still find troubling is people that in that same situation, in 2 other situations that day, didn't do that, but the other plane load did, and you wonder
What was the
because
people on the plane
there's
too,
a
wasn't it?
natural, like for instance, if you're in a situation and some
There's
guy
about 5,
says
6
comes up
that
behind
said,
you and
Yes.
says, if you say anything, I'll kill you, and then tries to rape you, the natural instinct is not to say anything so the guy won't kill you, when if you just screamed, you might prevent the attack from happening.
Which is why a lot of them
Yeah,
say
yeah.
instead of say rape, you yell fire.
Fire, yeah.
That's really sad because if you yell rape, people don't tend to try to
Exactly.
help.
Exactly.
So you yell fire because people come running and they're like, oh, this evil thing's happening. But at the same regard, when you're talking about something like rape,
Right.
Oh, they're going to do a dolphin rape joke. Okay, but no.
No.
With rape specifically, it depends on the social teachings that the woman has received. So the woman can hear either, because they'll teach both ways. They'll teach, if somebody's trying to rape you, you stay quiet, you let them do whatever the hell they want, or they're going to beat your face in, and then look at what you're in. Even more. Right. And then you've got the other standard where they tell the women, to fight back. Right. And, don't allow it to happen. Protect yourself.
And so
in that
with that context, you understand then why three different situations, one of them fought back and the other two sets did not, because of probably exactly what you're talking about. They just were in a different mindset, and
people react to fear in different ways.
Yes, exactly. And I personally get angry. But I think also though, henceforth, when things have happened like Mr. Shoe Bomb or Dildo, people were like, "Oh fuck, no, you're not," and they wrestled his ass and beat his ass and said, "No, you're not lighting anything, motherfucker."
Yeah. Well, people knew what was basically what was up at that point. And they were like, "It's either we do something or we don't get to go home."
It's not the military you really have to worry about in this country.
Of course not.
It's the civilians.
Oh, you mean as far as if you attack a country? Yeah, because they have no rules.
Well, I mean,
it's like you and I talked about as far as the old joke about. I think Bill Cosby did one about. Well, you know why the Americans won, because the Revolutionary War, because they're hanging from trees and doing all kinds of stuff, and what are the British doing? Wearing red coats and marching in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
When you extrapolate that,
Jello?
huh?
Do you talk about Jello as well?
And the pudding.
The pudding, man.
Well, if you also look at what was I going to say?
I wish I could do that accent nameless, but I can't.
What was I going
I'll have to hang with you some more.
Well, it's like CSI did an episode where there was a man on a plane, something about like his brain had this disease where his brain had swollen. Mm-hmm. So he was erratic, he was like, kind of frustrated, whatever, and the rest of the crew killed him. They beat him to death, they stomped him to death. So, I mean, it's just...
Wow.
When you put so many people in that tiny of a space with those kinds of stressors...
Especially after 9/11.
After 9/11, it's gonna...
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, was it here that after 9/11 there were Muslims out in the street that I could be way off, but they were out in the street burning American flags, like almost happy about it in certain parts?
I'm not sure here, but I know in some other countries there were.
Yeah, in other countries. But you know what was interesting? The initial reaction by a country like Iran was, "That was awful, we are so sorry."
Yeah.
And there were... Now, the thing is with TV, you show the camera in somebody's face, and they're going to want their 5 seconds or 15
Thank you, Andy Warhol!
Okay, so in that instance, there were people that would get in front of the camera and go, "Death to the USA!" when the majority of the country in which they were videoing were like, no, that's not how we feel.
Yeah.
And there's also the editing that's done afterwards in order to propaganda what we want the majority of the American people.
2 words.
Exactly.
Pulitzer.
It's the whole... Giselle, it's that whole history thing happening right in front of your face. And so, like, for instance, when I was in my whole semester of college, at the college not to be named, and drank and smoked my way through and all that sort of thing, there were a couple of Palestinian guys there.
ECU!
Yeah, there were a couple of Palestinian guys there that were, dorm mates, basically. And we would have political discussions all the time, and "You Americans," this and that and the other, but they loved the United States, and that's why they were there.
Oh, yeah.
But they would just yank my chain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was one of my buddies actually got to see, I think his name is Eli Wiesel.
Yes.
He got to see him, for those of you that don't know, you need to read a book. It's called Night. And it was a man that, he was a child in a Nazi concentration camp. But when my buddy went to go see him, the guy said, he goes, "Sure, America has its problems. what place doesn't.
Right.
And he's like, a lot of people complain about this, complain about that. He goes, let me tell you something. America is the best country in the world.
Well, it is.
And he goes, I wouldn't live anywhere else.
There's pros and cons no matter where you live.
Yeah.
However, you have to sit there and weigh out the pros and cons.
Well, I have a unique perspective in that I've lived elsewhere for a year and then come home when I was 11, and I remember this vividly. I kissed the ground at Logan Airport when I got off the plane. And all I could
Where
think
did
of...
you come from?
India.
India, okay. Just for the radio listening land that didn't...
Yeah, oh,
that
sorry.
were chavs and didn't listen to our previous
Yeah.
radio episodes. Fred Zeppelin lived in India when he was a child.
Yeah.
For a year, you said?
Yep. That was the one thing I wanted to do, and I did. And the next thing I wanted was a hamburger, and it was basically only one chain that was making them that we all know what the name of it is, and that's immediately when I went and got when they were like, 25 cents for a hamburger or
Oh,
something.
God.
Yeah. And
Jesus Christ, how old are you?
Well,
But I think it's interesting to say, you had nothing against from what previous stories you told about India. You had nothing against India.
No,
you had nothing
I'm
against
so
the
happy
country.
to
You had
know.
nothing about the country and the culture.
Yeah.
It was just you prefer America.
Yeah, because that's what you're
Fuck yeah.
used to and you grow up with.
But yeah.
But it was also, speaking of the best country in the world, yes, of course. And there are other countries I've been to that I love as well. That being one of them. Oh,
I would
there's
love to
so
visit
many-
England. I would love to visit
I-
Scotland,
yeah,
Ireland.
I would like
I'd
to
love
visit those
Japan.
places as an adult because a lot of those places
I'd
I've
love
been
to
as a
visit
child.
China just to see the friggin' wall.
Yep.
I have a long list of countries that I would love
I'd love to visit
I'd love to
Australia
go back to
as
Germany.
long as
I'd
I'm
love
not
to go to
surfing
Japan.
and as long as I'm not in the middle of the damn desert.
It
What?
makes it,
Australia.
I would love to go back to
There's
Hong Kong.
shit in
There's
Australia.
some shit in
As an adult.
Australia.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to Hong Kong as an adult
New
because I was
Zealand,
only
too.
16 when we went there.
Well, I'd like to see Hong
Yeah.
Kong because of the
Yeah.
architecture and its and the westernization of it.
Of what? Hong Kong?
Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Beijing, too.
Beijing.
Well,
I'd like to see.
that's China's money
I'd like
pot
to see
right
the
there.
Kremlin.
Huh? Oh, I would too.
I'm sorry, I thought you said the Gremlin.
I know. So I was like, Gremlin?
But I want to live here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So do I. And I mean,
I mean, like, my dream job would be to pay me to go to other countries just to run around and take pictures.
yeah.
That would to just go in and.
Well, when we get rich, we'll send you off.
Send me
and
off.
you'll have a
I have a
photo
list.
blog. Yeah, and you'll have a photo blog.
We can sell prints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I farted a little bit.
And then
A little bit.
of course, by then I'll be even older than I am now. So I'll
So
be
you'll
going,
be so.
I'll be
you'll
going.
be
Dick
so-
Al, are you gonna take some more pictures? Damn it!
Brett, are you actually like a Highlander? Like,
I think he
you
might
just live
be.
forever?
There can be only one, Fred Zeppelin.
I'm living tissue over exoskeleton or endoskeleton.
That's
Just don't
different.
fracture your hand.
Huh?
You know who you are.
Grab my hand!
Oh, dear God.
I just think that,
Dueling Arnolds.
I just think that, in my personal opinion, that as much as of an ugly day it was,
Yeah.
that in some respects they won.
Yeah. You know what they wanted to do was bankrupt the United States. Look at us.
Not only that, they wanted to make us paranoid.
Right. And they've
And
done
they
that as
won.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the leadership
And I'm a little
structure
bit
of this
ashamed of
country-
that.
I am too, and I don't like it. And for instance, okay, well, and here's a okay. I'm not Joe Pesci, I promise, but yeah, okay. But so I get on, and I have fairly recent flying experience to base this on. Even 9 years later, I'm leaving. I'm going, to RDU to go to New Jersey to go. To the land of the ice and snow where the midnight sun and the hot springs blow. But yeah. And I'm in the airport at RDU and going through the cavity search and take your shoes off and give me a sperm sample.
Pull down your pants
Is
so
this
they
when
can
they?
get my
I was
thumb
gonna
up
say,
there.
is this when they had when they had put in the
No.
the
The
new
body
one
scanners?
thing?
No.
No, the body molesting.
No.
Where they go like under the
No.
tits, between the legs.
No.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the full body scanners that
Yeah,
TSA
no.
agents were jacking to and give you cancer.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
but
fabulous.
You'd think somebody would have
it
figured
was-
that out.
it was overly intrusive anyway, and I'm like, take off my belt and all this crap, and I had one of those weave belts that was starting to come apart because it was old, so it was a pain in the ass to remove my belt.
Yeah.
And then my shoes, and I'm not the most manually awesome person anyway, and I'm trying to do all this crap. And I have my DVD player inside another bag, and that apparently wasn't known about.
What
So
do you mean?
Oh, it's electronics. You must take it out so we can examine it.
Oh, God.
So they were doing all that shit. So then, and the same thing happened in New Jersey, the cavity search and the whole 9 yards. And so then I get to the Midnight Sun and the Hot Springs Blow, and we land, which was an experience in and of itself because of the windy, rainy that is that country all the time. And the plane door opens, and the first two things I noticed were, wow, it's windy, and oh, I'm home. And then the next thing I noticed was we're basically taken in this bus to the terminal. And I get off the bus, and everybody seems to kind of know where they're going, but there's no, you will do this, you will do that, you will go over there, there's a big sign.
Right.
There's none of that shit. And so I just assumed that I'll follow the other people. And I get to, there were these two guys in a booth, and I'm walking, and, like, I don't care if they exist or not, or I don't care what they're there for, just taking my bag and going along. And then they go, oh, hold on a second. Oh, yeah, okay, we see your stuff. Okay, bye. And so then I walked, and then I'm trying to find the actual terminal, and I didn't know where to go. And there's just one person, like a baggage checker guy, that goes, on the bus. So I had to get on the bus again and go over to the terminal. On the bus! No, not like that, but anyway.
Yes,
but it was a
grab his hand.
completely different situation. So then I get into the terminal, and there's no, M16s pointed at you or body searches or any of that shit. And then I grab my bag after finally figuring out which turnstile it was, because of course everything's in Icelandic and all that. So, well, some of it's in English as well. But I finally figured out where, and I get the bag and in my suit and bag, and so then I'm going out, and there's a hallway that's split. It says to declare and the same thing in Icelandic. Nothing to declare, the same thing in Icelandic. And I'm like, well, I don't have any fruits and veggies, so I'm going over that way. And then I'm fully expecting, before I leave the airport, to go through the cavity search, which I still hadn't gone through. I figured it's got to happen sometime. And it empties out into the gift shop.
What the hell is this? No cavity search.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
I
want my giblets found now.
I need to be digitally manipulated.
And so it empties out into the gift shop. And
Caress
there's my
my
cousin,
nipples.
and he's like,
I might have
"Hey,
IVs
Fred,"
in
because
there.
he was raised mostly in England. And he's like, "Hello, Fred." And then another cousin of mine has a French accent, because she was raised mostly in France. And
You bastard.
Would you like to see my
Would you
croissant?
like some croissant? Croissant, c'est
But I mean, it was a completely different thing. And this is a year ago, and there's all this bullshit security going on that, some of which isn't necessary. Now, the Israelis have it right. Flying is a privilege, not a right. That's how they look at it.
Yeah, but you don't mess with the IAM.
No.
Exactly.
Best
But
firefighters in the world.
they don't do it the same way the United States does, make you feel like a fucking criminal. It's just, this is what I have to do to get on the plane.
I shouldn't be thrown on a guilt trip because I bought an expensive plane ticket and need to travel outside the country.
Exactly.
Look, in 2005, I had the opportunity to go to Berlin for a week, and same bullshit security. By the way, they will tell you on the TSA website that if you have actual old school film, not digital, but old school film,
Don't put
you
it
can
through the
tell
X-ray.
them
Yeah.
not to put it through the X-ray because it will actually, expose the film
Yeah.
as it goes through the X-ray machine. When I went to fly, I was actually shooting with old school film. I told them I have film. It can't go through the X-ray. Do you mind hand checking it? And they told me, no, it's got to go on the belt and put it through the X-ray machine. Anyways, I was so terrified that I lost all my pictures of shot in Berlin because both going there and back, they did that.
Did you lose them?
No, thankfully I didn't. But
So
they were probably overexposed because they put it through the X-ray machine twice.
Interesting.
So that was not fun.
I
But,
thought it was interesting that it survived at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was very grateful that it actually survived, but I'm just like, you douchebags, you fucking said,
Yeah.
and then fuck you. But hey, whatever.
Exactly.
The whole point of the story is as expected in the United States, going through my connecting flights and whatever, the ridiculous, security, everything that they do that's overly
Ridiculous.
detailed.
Did they
I guess
make you
could
drink
say.
your breast milk?
What?
Oh yeah, they
Anyway.
made some woman do that.
Oh dear God. But
What?
Yes!
No, let me finish this, and then we'll get to the titty milk story. Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm all about the titty.
I'm flying back from, and when you get to when I got to Germany, because they wanted it was through the college, the university, and so they got the cheaper flights, which were connecting flights, and so I actually flew into Frankfurt and then took a connecting flight to Berlin.
Want to see my Frankfurt?
Anyway, so we're flying back to the States.
She never did.
And what I thought was extremely offensive
Yeah.
was
what are you
in
talking
the
about?
Frankfurt airport, you went through the standard airport security,
Yeah.
and then because you were doing a flight, a flight over to the U.S., then when you got to that section, you had a whole nother set of security with soldiers with guns that had to do this whole nother like metal scan and everything. And I'm like, you just told this international, airport, fuck you, your security isn't good enough.
You know what I just
And that I
remembered?
kind of thought was really like that's kind of rude to do to an airport in another country. Is just to be like, oh well, you know what, we don't think your security is good enough, so we're gonna add some more and fuck you.
You know what I just remembered
And I thought that was
too?
very rude.
When I left to come back to the States, speaking of that, the one thing I remember was that's when they had security. And that's when I had to do the belt thing. And then I had a Coke in my hand. Icelandic Coke is the bomb. That is the best. I guess I just use a no-no phrase when we're discussing that particular day. But anyway.
Thank God.
What is this? It's the bomb.
But
Say
anyway,
bomb on a
Arnold
plane,
Schwarzenegger
you
just
get
kicks
kicked
through a
off.
wall.
yeah.
It's a bomb!
If you have a friend named Jack, don't greet him in the airport. Hi, Jack. Anyway, so
Oh.
Yes.
My.
yes,
Bad.
yes,
This was a bad joke.
indeed.
I don't get it though.
Hi, Jack.
Uh,
So anyway, I'm sitting there with my wonderful Icelandic Coke that I was going to take home and go, now this is what you need to taste as far as that goes. And the lady at the thing says, no, you can't take that on the plane. Shit. And I think that's probably more because the airline would rather sell you one on the plane than security, but it could have been both or either.
I mean, who knows why they
that.
won't allow you to put a Coke, to actually carry a Coke in from outside. But once you get past security, you can buy like another Coca-Cola for like $8 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
But one other thing that I remember too from that trip is the other thing that I don't appreciate, because we talked about how the guilt trips and how it's like you did something bad by purchasing a plane ticket.
Right.
But the other thing I didn't appreciate was coming back. You have to walk through the customs area.
Yes.
The person working customs treated you like you had contraband on you
Exactly.
at all times.
Exactly.
It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter what. It was
But-
in this guy's head that you had contraband on you somewhere, and he was going to fucking find it.
on the flip side of that, and play devil's advocate here, it's like the same people that do what the hell is it? Collection agencies. They are told to assume that you are lying. So
Right.
they are told to assume that you have something bad on.
Right.
Because, and if you think of it, they treated every person, as a case-by-case basis. Oh, well, maybe that's not it, so I'm just going to let him go. He looks like a nice little guy. You know what I mean?
It's one thing to have that mindset, and I understand having that mindset with the job that you're doing, but the way that the person executed that mindset was very, very annoying.
Well, I will tell you that.
I'll
I'll tell you a flip side of that, and this is involving.
I
US.
don't feel comfortable with him rummaging through my panties, okay?
Right.
Because I had a bottle of Listerine, okay?
Right.
I'm sorry, it's not literally rummaging through my panties to get to a bottle of Listerine.
But
Who is this man?
Conversely-
Tell me his name.
yeah, now
I want him to
conversely,
rummage through my panties.
conversely, here I am in New York, right?
You, sir,
in,
rummage now!
in Jersey's Liberty Airport, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And you have to go through customs. So I'm standing there after it took me a while to find what I needed. And so anyway, so then the customs guy, and I am not manually wonderful, says, well, you need to fill this out. And I said,
And catch me.
and then declare this. And I said, tell you what.
Declare
And I
my
looked
wheelie.
right at him and I said, I tell you what. I have fine motor problems out the ass. I cannot do that. If you'll do it, I'll sign it. He goes, no problem. Check. Yes, no. Sign that. Have a nice day. And I got on the plane. But that's
Wait,
because
was
he
that
listened.
questionnaire where it's like,
Yes.
have you been to a farm?
Exactly.
recently? Okay.
And yeah, have you been to a pharmacy? Do you know what you're doing?
No, not a pharmacy, an actual farm. That was on my questionnaire when I went out of the country.
yeah.
Was, have you been exposed to HIV? Have you
lot.
had something in whatever?
Well, it's
And
all
then it was
about
randomly
disease
like,
control.
have you been on a farm?
Yeah. Well, that's because of
That was
you know
like-
why that was mad cow. I'll bet.
No, it was. I believe
I mean,
so. But
salmonella, E. coli. I mean,
I just thought I wasn't expecting
Cow
it.
lies.
Because there's not really a lot of farms where I,
yeah.
live. So I just kind of like, oh, a farm? Those still exists?
Just as an FYI, the incident Fred is talking about is JFK airport security had forced a woman to drink her own breast milk. This happened in 2002.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Let me know.
And
Tell
then
me
they
this.
feel
That's
that
when
brand.
convinced a woman, a baby, and 3 milk-filled bottles. And this scene convinced a security guard of John F. Kennedy International Airport to force a Long Island woman to drink from 3 bottles filled with her own breast milk.
Yep.
The demand part of the post-September 11th increase to airport security was apparently made to ensure that the liquid posed no threat to other passengers. The requirement was within federal guidelines at the time, but the policy has since been changed. Elizabeth McGarry, of 40, of Oceanside, said the incident occurred April 2nd as she was boarding a Delta Airlines flight for Miami with her infant daughter. She called it embarrassing and disgusting when a security guard forced her to drink from the bottles before boarding the plane. The number, and I quote, the number of middle-aged, lactating white women who pass through Al-Qaeda training is probably negligible, said her attorney. The attorney who later spoke with McGarry about the legal options said that the suburban woman was not looking to file a lawsuit over the incident, although that still remained a possibility at the time. She's primarily concerned this doesn't happen to anybody else. It also goes on so forth that they're investigating. This is up 2002. They're investigating. The security guard was hired in the private sector, so they're trying to get to where federal and private policies are uniform.
I mean, I understand because she was boarding from where?
She was boarding a plane to
Miami from where?
From JFK, from New York.
Okay, so the flight's not too terribly long.
No, it's 2 hours max.
Yeah, so, I mean, 3 bottles, that's a bit excessive. I mean, and I'm thinking of in context to the whole liquid policy that they have now, where you can't...
True, but
so maybe I have the wrong
she was also
mindset.
thinking ahead of time.
Yeah, and I can understand that, because you also have to get through the terminal.
It's better to have too
I mean,
much.
how long do you
Yeah,
have to wait
because-
before you can even board the plane now? I mean, like 2 hours?
Well, yeah, but there's not only that. I mean, there's
And
getting to
the actual
Miami,
flight.
there's getting to your car, there's getting home. I mean, I understand all that. I'm thinking in context today, would they allow it on there? Probably not, but
Plus,
you know, it's one of those things.
eating habits. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes they're starving, and they can't. They have a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Sometimes like,
Yeah, and no, I can't really say too much about that. I still think it's kind of interesting, though.
yeah.
But I mean, it's not. I from what the article said, I don't imagine that they took her to a private room and asked her to drink.
Yeah, no, it was right there.
That-
And if they had
right
taken her to
there.
a private room, I don't think it would have been a big deal.
Exactly,
Just
but
been like, hey,
considering
we
it was
need
in
you
front
to
of
do this.
everybody,
Yeah,
It's
it's
kinda
just
ridiculous.
I think
Acting
okay,
40-year-old white women.
and we're sort of I think, or people tend to dance around the issue of profiling. In a situation like this, you're making a 70-year-old Caucasian grandmother get felt up when that's not who.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. That would come on.
Yeah,
what about I think it was a 3-year-old? There was actually a
that
photo taken of it was a
Yeah,
toddler that was being felt up. And
Yeah.
I believe that the hand was on the bootay at the time.
Well, you know,
So it's
I mean,
like,
you gotta
they'll
think
do
that
the
that.
child is an adult.
these people are
they'll do that, but they
Yeah.
won't.
people that are going to hijack a plane are a little
for
bit.
politically. Speaking of political correctness, we all are very well aware what the 9/11 hijackers look like and why they're not. You
Well,
know,
just going along with what these two are derailing the conversation to. Anyways, I mean, like, I understand, if you have that mindset and you understand that our security has been increased, you're going to do desperate things if you're really that hell-bent on doing something. I mean, it's
Right.
just like with shoplifting, how they may target, women with these strollers because they'll use that to actually steal items.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
But,
More or
I
less
mean,
just playing
really?
devil's advocate is what I'm doing,
yeah, but
it's so invasive. That's why I haven't flown in so many years. That's
And
why
right.
I'm kind of like, I don't. If I had the money to travel, I don't know if I actually would, because I'd have to deal with all that bullshit.
If they
It's
want to
too
torch
much.
the American airline industry, they're doing a great job. It's
Oh,
the only way
wow.
I'm
American
get on a
airline
plane
industry isn't really doing much for itself.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Why?
they're torching themselves. You gotta pay to fly with your
why,
bags.
if you're going to fly, you need to call Bruce Dickinson.
Right.
Oh my god!
Oh,
if
that was what I was
going
going to tell you.
You got in right
Did you
away.
know? Did you know he flies for what? There's an Icelandic airline.
Yeah.
There's two of them. One of them, it starts with an A, but they're doing business as Iceland Express.
Mhm.
And he flies for them on occasion.
Yeah.
And I would have loved it if in 2009 I found out that that's who the pilot of the plane was, but he wasn't. But,
I just would love to hear the captain's
Yeah,
speech
his-
at the beginning. Hello there.
hello, or if the plane
Does
developed
anybody know
engine
who I
trouble.
am? Well, maybe you'll
If the plane
recognize this.
developed engine trouble. Wait, guys, if the plane developed engine trouble and he's like, run to the hill!
And the oxygen
Or-
mask.
Or no, then he starts singing Fear of the Dark.
And the all, yeah.
The lights go out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if we can, we need to hook up with Bruce Dickinson. So if we ever decide to take the BDR world tour,
Hells yeah.
Oh, I would love to.
I mean, even if we just ride around for a couple hours and don't actually go anywhere. That's
Hell, I would love
Decisions.
I would love to hang with Nico. That would be fun.
Yo, Nico, I heard that drum kick.
So should we take a break and then
Right?
sure start with some more comedy?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, at the end of this one, 9/11, remember,
Yes.
discuss, talk about it.
Yep.
Conversate about it if
And
you
don't
must.
I will throw
forget.
something. I'll pick up this cat and throw him like a post battery. So we'll be back.
Oh, we're taking a break.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that part. Shut up. I'm not paying attention to you as usual.
Right, this here's Analog Kid, one of the most weird people on the radio.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do
Right.
is I'm going to sneak up behind him and jam my thumb right up his ass.
Essentially.
I love that you had to clarify.
This here's Calvin, a British. Now, the British are one of the most terribly poor or hodging people in the world. So what I'm going to do is sneak up behind him and brush his teeth.
Because Brits,
Oh, Crocker, he's angry now! He's angry now!
because Brits are notorious for their bad teeth.
You mean teeth?
Teethies.
Men don't have all of this teeth.
That tickles.
What?
I don't know.
I said Britain doesn't have all their teeth.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't have all of their teeth.
They're too.
You better do Schmiegel before we leave today, just to let you know.
Huh?
Think
You don't
about
have to do it right here, right now, but before we leave today, you have to do your Schmiegel voice. Go
Oh.
Schmiegel.
I was about to say,
Absolutely.
I have too much meat in my mouth to do that right now.
I see. Nameless has too much meat in his mouth.
But yes, we are back with some silly things.
Indeed. Because
We're back like a sack smoking crack, man.
Don't be whack,
You're gonna get slapped.
Jack.
Indeed.
What?
You're gonna get hit by Matt. Truck. Now sit the fuck down and let's do some math. Ooh, I made math rhyme with Mac. How you like that?
It didn't rhyme though.
Shut up, it did.
It didn't.
I do.
That's kind of whack.
No.
That's kind of whack, yo.
I'm gonna split your crack.
Yes. And make it into a snack.
I'm going to nut in your butt, now wax me straight.
God.
Shut up.
I just want to let. I just want to have nature have a reality check.
You do you?
It's great that you want to sit there and tell us just how much of a bitch you are with your PMS about throwing us hurricanes and shit. But really, you're a fucking fish. You're not a mammal. According to the Cape Times, 6 researchers from South Africa are reflecting on what they describe as a fright of their lives after their own close encounter with a great white shark. The research team from Oceans Research was working off Seal Island near Mossel Bay on South Africa's Cape Coast when the nearly 10-foot-long creature reportedly made its move. Team leader, Dorian Schroeder, told the newspaper that following more than an hour of shark activity around the boat, all of a sudden the waters felt quiet. Next thing, I hear a splash and a great white breach out of the water and onto the side of the boat and literally landed in the boat.
What?
Apparently it wanted to breathe air. What's going on with the animal kingdom?
Well,
They
the
just
oceans
wanted
are
to go up
being
on the boat. Hi,
polluted.
how the fuck are you?
Yeah.
The oceans are being polluted, so they got to get their air from somewhere else.
There's a fish. It doesn't breathe air.
Evolution.
Is there more tea in the fridge?
Yeah, right next to the Pepsi.
Yes.
Right next to the cocaine.
At least you didn't drink 5 cups of coffee this time. No. I will not.
Oh yeah, so who's the chav?
The shark.
Oh, the shark is the chav.
Not knowing where it belongs. Just like most wives. Yes, I would.
You are a secret. Live in the ocean.
And then there's a...
She's supposed to
You
get
know,
in the kitchen
I'm
and make
just
you
laughing
some
because you're gonna get the hate mail. I'm
Bring it on.
I don't even have the energy to fight with you anymore. I'm just,
Put
you
on
know
your
what
white
you
clothes.
said. You know what you said. You know what kind of reaction it's gonna get. I don't even, that's on you. That's
In a
all
related
you.
story,
What did you learn? Nothing.
in a
Whatever.
related story, Earl after shark attack. I like dolphins way better. I
God.
shit you not, that's what it said.
Are you
I shit you not, that's what it said.
Clearly, she hasn't met
I was
dolphins.
about to say, she don't know dolphins like I know dolphins.
You gotta be changing her too.
Her story would change. Oh, I saw the dolphins, but I ran right back out and swam with the sharks. All sharks gonna do is eat you. Dolphins gonna take your pride.
And your dignity.
And your innocence.
You should do that as the Jamaican voice.
Yeah, dolphins be taking your pride and your innocence.
Chicken.
You're manly
Bitch, your bulldog chicken. Boy,
Girl.
it's your boy now.
No.
To look at the penis.
What?
I don't know what I just said. Can't
I
be
don't
understanding
know,
myself. Don't try to look at me that way. Like I don't be coming over here. Just picking me out, you little midget looking thing. Your bald and shit with your little strands of hair and your big goofy like eyes. To help you wrong with you. Do I look like Tahabit to you?
Was he CGI'd in the Lord of the Rings film? I can't
Technically,
remember. Was he done well or was he done poorly?
He was done well.
We've done well.
Especially for the time.
Steve
Well
Weathers
done.
wore a suit, basically a body motion suit,
Mm-hmm.
and they CGI over his image.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Just like they did with him in King Kong, and what they're doing, and what they did in Planet of the Apes.
Jim Tatum.
Planet of the Apes.
Come on, Harpists. Come on, the full furthers. And the ones that get out to souls, the great white sharks will come and eat them in the boats.
Oh, no.
God, you've been stabbed! Have no precious.
The fuck was that?
Mm.
The dolphins!
Ugh.
They're coming to get you, Nameless.
Oh.
They know it's been a while.
Calvi, that's for you.
No. That's truly for Calvi. You gotta get rid of that fucking microphone.
I don't want to get up. He ain't worth my time.
You probably won't even listen to it for another 2 months anyways.
Uh,
Are you trying to light your electronic cigarette?
is that what they call it?
He's got a lighter in his electronic cigarette.
Oh no, I just like doing this.
Oh.
It's not as big as it was outside.
That's what I always say.
Maybe it's the light. I mean, dude, it's pretty big though, I promise. See, look, that's just huge. It's a huge bitch. That's a huge bitch.
For those of you already listening, like, he's talking about the flame from the lighter.
Not talking about my Willie. That's a
He's
huge
jogging about his Willie.
What about a factory?
That's all men want to talk about is their willies.
We're talking about Fred Hansel, you bitch.
That's right.
Get all the marmalade. Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think Arnold Schwarzenegger tries to pick up chicks by asking if they have all their teeth?
Hey, you,
I know that's
baby.
what walking does.
You got all your teeth? That doesn't work for me because you don't have the swag. Look, hey, baby, I'm just wondering if you have all your teeth. Where you going, bitch? I'm talking to you.
And
That's
then he
right.
throws a whisk at her.
Now get over here and make me some pancakes.
Get in the kitchen and make me some pie.
You know where you belong, baking me things in the kitchen.
Oh, sorry, that was
And
bad.
getting naked when I tell
No,
you.
well,
And
you're
making babies. That's where you go. Do it now.
I'd rather
I
have
don't
just the
understand how this
practice.
works for you at all, because if I was going to say that to Maria, she'd whoop my ass. It's because you're a bitch.
She's getting a little
Don't you
scary.
snicker over there, Stallone. I want to hear a goddamn word from you.
Definitely don't hear words.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, you know.
Zex.
Sieben?
Nine.
Floppen, flopen, or however that goes. It's
Sometimes I
the
feel
Def
like
Leppard
racing
song
my
that
hand like
starts off
this.
with something
Oh.
quasi-Germanic.
Yeah.
Lieder, Lieden, Klagen, Klogen.
Are you sure it's
Yeah, I'm pretty
There was
sure.
also one, they also did it in a
The
parody
Offspring.
in The Offspring.
Wait a minute. Where was Quasimodo from? I can't remember.
Quasimodo?
Yes.
He's from, where's Notre Dame?
It's, Paris.
Thank you. He was the damn humpback of Notre Dame.
Yes.
Humpback.
I was gonna say something and I just with that language I would guess more of like Finnish or something before I guess German.
I don't know, it just
Wow,
sounded-
that looked really seductive.
What are you
Are
talking
you
about?
hot for him
Deep
there,
throated that
Nicholas?
hot dog something.
I can't see thankfully because the laptop is in my way.
Wiggle it, big
I
boy.
was really hoping it was just gonna split and like, like you're wiggling it and just.
Oh
There's nothing wrong with hot dogs.
Watch me flex my wiener.
Yeah.
Tick, tock, tick.
no. Fred just flexed his wiener.
That's right.
Flex my foot and sounds assy to me. You're not going to do
Wiggle
it.
my toes.
Like to wiggle my toes.
I'm
So,
going to put my
do
foot
you
in
have
your
a
ass and
recording
wiggle my
together,
toes.
Mom?
Yeah.
What?
Do you have anything to report?
It's been official. We're doing Die Hard 5.
That's old news though.
So Bruce Willis is going to be in it.
Yes.
I don't think Bruce Willis would let them do a Die Hard movie if he wasn't in it.
Is he living tissue over endoskeleton?
Oh no, he's getting old.
Wow.
It's
Or,
the truth.
couldn't hang on.
I
to
didn't
what
say
the-
he's getting old and decrepit. I just said he's getting up there in years, and living
Long
tissue
as
over
it moves.
endoskeleton doesn't age. Or doesn't.
Long in the tooth.
You don't see any new old Terminators. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Arnold, now that he's not the Governator anymore, is he going to do another movie?
Oh, he's doing a shit ton. He's I got on my Facebook page. I have a IMDb, and I've got Cinema Blend, and constantly I'm bombarded with movie updates. And apparently, he's already in pre-production, mid-production, and post-production on like 4 or 5 films already. So he's doing quite a few.
Well, yeah, he's got to get money now.
Yeah.
Yeah, to pay off the bullshit that he just started with the, excuse me, are you Hispanic? But then I'm half Jewish. Do you have all your teeth?
Whatever, I don't care.
I like
Do you have a maid
Hispanic
outfit?
women.
That
I
is
don't
the
care what
deal
they look like. If you just say I'm from Mexico, I will
Dude.
have sex with you.
Do you have a gelatinous ass? Let
Yes.
me get inside of you. No!
No!
Grab my handle!
Oh.
Let my schwanz.
Oh yeah. By the way, Cal, it's Law and Order, not criminal, not crime scene investigation.
Yeah, Cal, way to fail.
Epic fail.
I told him too. I flat out, I was just like, hey, blah, 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 Doom, Law and Order. And he totally came back with, the CSI thing is so funny. No,
God, I
No.
hate British people.
Now there's Law and Order Criminal Intent.
That's not CSI,
That's
though.
not CSI.
That counts.
That's LNWCI. No. Oh wait, no, Ellen. Oh wow, I cannot spell. Where the hell did I get W from?
Because after A in law is W.
And then the gears came to a grinding halt.
Yeah. Let's figure it out!
What do you mean there's no W in order?
Oh, and I'm not just saying this to be fascinated with my Irish heritage.
Yes, you are.
Who
Wow,
played-
put the tape measure away.
Fred, who played Charlie?
In the chocolate factory?
Oh, Flowers for Algernon.
Oh, Cliff Robertson.
He passed away yesterday.
Oh.
Oh, how old was he?
Well, he was 88, and he said he died of natural causes.
Well, yeah, when you're 88,
Yeah, but he was also Uncle
Or
Ben.
was he
was
found-
also Uncle Ben in the Spider-Man
Did
trilogy.
you die of natural causes,
The
or
Spider-Man trilogy makes me want to cry.
hang on, we already talked about
Wait
this.
for
Have
it.
you
Did-
seen Flowers for Algernon?
Did he
Oh,
die?
I meant like cries and it's so horrible. I
I'm
don't
just
wanna
saying,
Did
watch
he
it.
die of natural causes, or was he found in Thailand in a closet with a noose around his neck and ladies' clothes?
Dude, that was terrible.
What?
I know, but I'm just saying it could be.
No,
I don't know.
no.
Okay,
You know
good.
what? At his age, I'd applaud him for it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, if you can still get an erection when you're 88 years old, you're doing something right.
Yeah, but they make pills for that now.
Yeah.
That's all I imagine.
So,
Well,
instead of
it's
breast
like-
cancer, they made it so old men can have erections.
Well, it's like women that are 90 with breast implants. You know, I mean,
We've
it's,
talked about this 3 times already.
Exactly.
We know
Joan
how we
Rivers?
feel about old ladies with breast implants.
yeah, but the thing is, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, no thanks. False advertising.
I love analog kids' confused reaction to that.
Yeah, because you're 88 and
If
you
I'm
got a stiff.
88, if I'm 88 years old,
I'm a lot closer to that than you are, so shut up.
and another 88-year-old woman comes up to me with a body built like an 18-year-old, please give me the blue pill. Who wouldn't hit it?
Men will hit anything. That's not the point.
Not necessarily. You're supposed to stick up for your own teeth.
No,
Not sound like a bitch.
you know, any port in a storm. Where do you think that expression came from?
Oh.
It was a Navy thing.
Yeah, about men.
In the Navy.
Well, hey, there again.
The seamen.
You know, if you're on a sub for 6 months and then
Die!
yeah, apparently penises start to look good around then. He said, I said penises and pussy in one show today. That's pretty good. I didn't say ass
Butt
stuff.
sex.
Or butt sex, yeah.
Nameless did say it earlier.
I did.
I wasn't paying attention, so it doesn't matter.
Bullshit, you weren't. You commented on
Just
it.
like you don't remember it didn't happen. Fuck you.
That doesn't go both ways.
But apparently you do.
Hey, you can't swing forward without going backward.
Are you a
all
switch
right?
hitter? It's a foul ball, right?
The only
now.
way this can get better is if the rape was still involved.
I still have it.
But he's sending a text message, so he.
I don't know. What?
With a blue light out of his mouth.
I mean, if he's not gonna react to the rape whistle if he's not paying attention.
Well, it's also because it's not at your place either.
Yeah, I can't run in the other room and start screaming. I might upset.
You can run outside.
Yeah, knock more of my
Your
stuff off the
garage.
wall.
I'm
Hey,
anticipating to come in one time and you just have pillows lined up on the floor in front of everything. So if they do get knocked over, they just land.
Let's move everything over to that wall.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, he's out there now, as you know. But,
Oh, Nameless is no longer jobless
that's right.
Yeah.
or homeless.
Yeah.
It's
That's
fucking
right.
set up sweet.
Yeah.
I still have to finish unpacking.
He's got his own bachelor pad.
Aww. And it is nice. I did let him know that if he ever does find a girl that has
I was
all
about
her
to say-
teeth,
Yes.
it is a nice place to take her.
I was about to say, if you're a nice
Fayetteville,
young lady and
that's
you do
got it.
have all of
Yeah.
your teeth, please contact me.
You're not going to find them in Fayetteville.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
Right.
hey, he
But
can
you did
import.
unpack you did unpack the important stuff. I see you logging in and off on your PS3 damn near every night.
I'm sorry, I'm still not trying to laugh about the Fayetteville thing. But you're right.
You can import them from Raleigh or
What,
wherever.
teeth or just the chicks?
No, you can't. No, prosthetic teeth don't count now. They gotta be 100% natural. It's like fake tits, dude. It's not the same. It's not the same. You can argue with me all day long, but at the
I
end of the
didn't
day,
say
it's
it
not
was
the
the
same.
same, but if I had to go with either flappy or no and fake, I think I'll go with fake if they look better.
It'd have to be a damn good job. That's
I mean,
all I'm saying.
it's like the same thing.
They can't be like
Do I want
freakishly huge.
sugar in my tea or fucking Splenda? Sure.
I'm just saying, there's some really nice natural ones out there.
Yeah, I know. But if you
Dude,
are
when you
left
see
with
fake
no
titties
nat-
that point in like opposite directions, let's be frank. They're weird.
Hi,
there
I'm
probably
Frank.
is a Frank involved. Right next to his little beans.
My Frankfurt, dude.
I'm saying that if you have unattractive natural and you have attractive fake, exactly. It's a conundrum.
Stop debunking me in front of the radio listening land.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
You come out with bruises, but I'm the one crying.
Although if she has fake, nice looking, and it's all jacked up downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
I might have to go with the all natural.
But yeah, so if you're a nice young lady and you got all your teeth, drop me an email at nameless@bdrrocksonline.com.
Yes.
Well, that's right. You'll need to have all of your teeth.
Oh!
Send a
Actually,
picture and
sometimes
a
it's
brief
not.
biography.
What? I
Oh,
totally
she gives
forgot.
herself a black eye, raising a green.
Just don't
I'm
hold the
wearing a
pencil.
bra, okay? I'm wearing a bra. I didn't about give myself a black eye. You shut your mouth. But no,
Oh,
I forgot to
you're talking about the
mention.
whole I'm so excited, it's Karen,
Oh yeah, sister put a pencil in her eye.
I'm
It's the tutu time! It's the tutu time!
Please tell
Oh,
me, I forgot the story, but please tell me that her sister was young when that happened. And
Yeah,
not
she was like 3 or 4.
Did she like
Oh,
bruise?
okay.
Did she like damage her eye or anything?
No, she just sits inside her face.
Oh.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say if she was like an adult and she did that.
And then you hear in the background.
Oh no, not the pencil.
What are you wetting yourself over there for?
I didn't wet myself. I just forgot. We have a cow replacement.
We do.
I was on the forums and actually started posting, and some random German chick totally checked out the site and said that she liked it. So I'm very excited. Her name is, I think it's Antonella.
I like that idea, but
Does
I'm
Antonella have all
not
her
emailing
teeth?
her in German.
Is she hot?
She was communicating with me in English.
Yeah, dude.
Brogan.
No, actually, it was quite good.
No, she's got all her teeth though, it don't matter.
That's right.
I just figured if Cal abandons us like he's kind of been doing.
Antonella, if you have all of your
We
teeth,
did.
please send an email to nameless@bdrrocksonline, include a picture and a brief biography. I will review your application.
And explain
I'm
why.
an equal opportunity employer
And explain.
of teethful women.
And explain why it is that you still have your teeth.
There is such thing as too many teeth. You don't want those down there.
Yeah.
Only in the mouth. You got teeth downstairs. I ain't talking to you.
That's true.
Or
I want to
as
get my dick bit off. You know?
Killer
Or
D
my
actually calls John Elway horse teeth because of his.
What, teeth in his vagina?
No.
Teeth in his mouth.
Because his teeth are so ridiculously ever present.
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm just asking if she had all her teeth. There's a difference between horse teeth and all your teeth.
That's true.
That's
Girls
why
in South
you don't
Carolina
look
don't
your
have
horse in the
all
mouth.
Huh?
That's why you don't look at your horse in the mouth.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, she'll bite your damn head off.
I think Ferris would have a problem with that.
Who?
Ferris. Sarah Jessica Parker was married to Matthew Barney,
Yeah.
who plays for
Yeah.
you.
And
Oh.
I'm sorry for him.
Look, he was talking about
You
people
don't like-
looking like horses, and the whole
Yeah,
thing on the
yeah.
internet
Do
is
you-
Sarah Jessica Parker looks
Do you
like
think
a
he
horse,
wakes up in the
so.
morning and just goes,
Why did you
Wakes
look like a
up,
horse?
no, he wakes up, he's got fucking apples next to the bed.
Well, it's
They
kind of
make him
like
dance to it.
Olivia Wilde. Everybody's all, ooh, she's hot and everything. No, not
I mean, I personally don't think that Sarah Jessica Parker.
I mean,
is
dude,
like
if I walked home, if I came
That's me
home
personally.
and Olivia Wilde was
I don't
naked
watch
and she
Sex
was like
and the
doing it, I'd be
City.
like, eh.
Well, I'm not saying the beggars could be choosers. I'm just saying that if I had my choice, Olivia Wilde would not be there.
Olivia Wilde or Sarah Jessica Parker?
Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, there you go.
The older you get, the less picky you get.
Says you.
I think that's a no-brainer, though. I mean, Olivia Wilde,
I'm
Sarah
living
Jessica Parker.
that, so I can tell you.
Now,
That's
here's
just
one.
sitting here like, I like titties.
That's right.
But if I had Scarlett Johansson,
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's very gorgeous.
she is beautiful, sexy, very doable.
I would make chocolate with her.
I just imagine, like,
Like we're making chocolate.
yeah, like, actually, like,
Swiss chocolate, yeah.
Like,
Like, I think that would be a blast.
Yeah, I think you turned yourself into a fondue just for her.
Oh no, I spilled some on my dick.
But there would be a cheese fondue.
I've got some
Oh.
chocolate on my penis. Oh no.
No, we didn't cross the line on. All right, well, no, we can keep going.
That's right.
The engineer says we're good, so I guess we're all right.
we don't have an engineer.
I'm driving the train, right?
Yeah, exactly. Get the little head.
No, I'm wearing a hat.
You're wearing the hat. I'll let you wear it.
Oh, shit. I don't have one.
Well, fucking Jesus Christ, you suck.
We,
No, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do!
You have a story and you like it.
No, you were supposed to tell the drumming story last episode, and you refused not to. Where in Metalocalypse, where they have the scene where they bring in, I think it's pancakes.
Oh, shit. Okay, alright, so I do
No. Start it off right. Start it right.
Story time.
Story time.
Yeah. I got a little stiff right there.
I'll do it again.
Ew.
well, in my case,
It was flopping around.
in my case, it would be rigor mortis.
You
I
just
think-
shoved a hot
I
dog
think-
in your mouth and then did this.
I think I just creamed a bit.
Ew.
Okay, so, with the exception of Fred,
Because I'm old.
everybody in this room has seen Metalocalypse. If you haven't seen the show,
You're a Chad.
you need to stop listening to us right now and watch the first
You
two
just
seasons.
called yourself
Oh,
a
it's
chap.
hilarious.
There's a scene with,
When you hit 50, you're allowed to do that.
if I had to choose
Exactly.
my favorite character, it's Pickles.
Pickles the drummer.
Because he's the smartest one.
Yeah.
He may be an alcoholic, he may be a drunk, but he's the smartest one. One of my favorite quotes he ever did was the scene where they appear in a grocery store, and Squizguard's like, I think it's called a food library. He's like, what, you douchebag? It's a grocery store. So, one of the episodes, I think it was the first episode of season 2, I'm not sure, but it was the whole scene where Pickles is trying to lay down the drum track.
Mhm.
And they're all watching and listening. And all of a sudden, I think it was Murderface and Toki brought in a big, huge pile of steamy flapjacks, covered in butter and syrup and everything. It's this complicated drum track. And he literally said, hey, you guys got pancakes? What the hell? And then I think it was Nathan that said, finish the drum track roll, we'll come out and you have some flapjacks with him. So it turned into this big hoorah, and then, the producer comes in who's had his eyes magically replaced with metal optics because when he first came to the first album, the music blew out his eyes.
No, it was
it was
the pressure.
yeah.
He was ascending too fast, and the pressure
Yeah.
popped.
Right.
his eyes.
The ascent
So he's
back
got
up
these
to the
metal eyes
surface.
in his sockets. And he's like, just, first drum track, you come out. And Pickles is so irritated by this point, he's like, fuck you. I actually had a similar issue with this. When I was in a band, I was having a hard time recreating a drum roll I came up with, just goofing off. And they loved it so much, they wanted to incorporate it into the song we were trying to write. And at the time, I couldn't read drum tab. I played by ear. So I remember what it sounded like in my head, but I couldn't reproduce it. I couldn't reproduce it. So I'm sitting there literally driving myself mad, trying to remember how to do it. They're like, no. And at first I thought they were fucking with me, because I kept saying, no, that ain't it. But my guitarist was really a perfectionist. He really wanted that drum roll, and we weren't recording it while I was goofing off. So I was trying to sit there and record, and I'm working on this for 45 minutes. And I have a short fuse anyway.
No way.
Yeah. So I was already frustrated. I had already cracked a drumstick. I had already chipped a tip on the other drumstick. I had already popped a head.
I popped a head.
And at this particular moment in time, when I was working on this drum set, this was my first drum set. So the crash cymbal had a slight split near where you put the bolt in, where it sits on the nightstand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting there. My drum set wasn't in the best condition, and I was already angry. I was already frustrated. And so they're like, "Okay, do this, do this, do this." So I'm sitting there, and I'm literally. This was God, I'm old. This was 20 years ago. So, I'm angry and frustrated, and all of a sudden, the band's lead singer comes in with this heaping armload of Subway sandwiches. Back in the day when Subway was fucking cheap.
Yeah.
I was like, Subway, how to take a break? Tony's like, no, you will finish this drum roll before you even have a sandwich. I was so angry. I was like, I've been working on this for almost an hour. What the fuck? Let me take a break. He's like, no. So even John, the singer, he's like, no, man, we're just, we'll wait till you're done. So I'm sitting there. I'm not paying attention. They're over here to my left. So I'm not looking at them. And about halfway through trying to, another 20 minutes into it, I just happen to notice movement, and I look to my left, and they're eating a sandwich. So it was one of those you literally had to have been there moments, but it was just frustrating that the two of the other three members of the band were sitting there fucking with me, basically saying, no, you're not going to get rewarded with food until you get that right. Mm-hmm. Took me 3 days.
Damn. Were you able to eat?
Oh yeah,
at
I said fuck this. It was the one time I actually abused my instrument. I got so angry, I actually literally kicked the bass drum over so that the racks fell forward.
Yeah.
That was the only time I did that. I was that angry. Because when we talk about Nirvana, one of the things that I hate about Nirvana and to the Who to some extent, I hate struggling musicians. It's expensive. The drum set is one of the most expensive instruments you can have. And you see these bands just literally destroying their videos. Destroying it on stage. I'm like, if you're going to do that, give it to me. Donate it. I'll take it.
Yes.
Because they can. Because they have a contract that says if they bust it up, they can get another one.
Yeah, so it's a waste of money. It's a waste of a perfectly good instrument. I think Pete Townsend was the one that actually started that as a fad. I don't think he was the first musician to do it, but I think he was the first musician to make it famous.
There's stuff I would like to be able to play on the drums, and we've had this conversation before, but it's like, and that's such a fun instrument to play because
it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, well, and for lots of things, it's good for stress relief. It's I just it's just fun because it's that instrument that's nice and loud and is a neighborhood irritant, so that's perfect for the person who wants to,
irritation in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it's perfect for the person that wants to do that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, drums are loud. I want to bring my drum kit back to my apartment, but I'm like, fuck, I gotta go knock on some doors and be like, hey, you guys mind some big loud instruments?
But yeah, it was. I look back on it now and I laugh at it, but I was so pissed. I wanted to beat the shit out of it. I'm like, I'm hungry. Sandwich.
Give me the sandwich and make me some pie, mother.
I like pie. But no, I mean,
I'd like some pie too.
Well, since the resident lady has left, let's talk about bitches.
And pussy.
And pussy.
And titties.
And titties.
So if you had to have... no.
Damn it.
But the Chris Pine, as an actor, I think his best role, now that you've finally seen it, was The Losers.
Which one was Chris Pine?
Chris Pine was the one that was singing Don't Stop Believing.
Oh my God, yes. That man is adorable.
Is that on the instant queue?
I don't know.
The thing is, but he also played in, what was that?
You can borrow my
Telekinetic,
copy.
Kids, with it had,
I did not really
Push.
play with Chris Pine's work. No way, I
Chris Pine
did
was
see
in
Push.
Push. He was in Push.
Yeah, he was good in that.
He's also the Captain America in the latest Captain America film.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Captain
Not Chris
Mongolia.
Pine, not Chris. Chris Pine played Captain Kirk in Star Trek.
He was kind of cute.
Yeah, he's a nice looking dude.
Chris Evans, excuse me, Chris
Chris
Evans.
Evans.
I was about to say, that dude did not look like Captain America. I was like, what the hell did they do to him?
Chris Evans played Captain America. Chris Pine was one of the Rumble brothers in Smoking Aces. He was the one that
watch that
lived. He's in the parking lot talking about, it's all about business, man. And then he walks away and the cop shoots him. And then he became Captain Kirk, and I don't know what he's doing right now. But a lot of people thought that Harrison Ford was an attractive man.
Oh, I'd still do him.
Sean Connery is one of the...
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
He's funny as shit, too.
Oh, hell yeah. But Sean Connery, if I had to be anybody, it'd be Sean.
Sean Connery.
Sean
do
Connery
Sean
is a
Connery, too.
fucking pimp.
Smacking bitches.
Still!
Your mother was a whore.
I'll take Schwartz.
I mean, the fucker wears a kilt, he's bald, and he's still svelte looking. I mean, he's just a pimp.
Who?
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And he's what, almost 90?
Is he really?
He's old, he's up there.
That's upsetting, because my kids will never know the
I mean,
greatness.
fuck, he was in his 40s during
Sure, on film they will.
But geez, I mean, you look at a lot. Everything's built on basically superficial. It starts out superficial. You have your attractions. Then you get to know somebody, and you can either go, okay. Well, it's like, for example, would you, if you went out on a blind date, somebody hooked you up, or you went on a double date, and your date's a blind date that's hooked up from your friend. And she's cute, she's attractive, but you still want to pursue more than a physical relationship, and you find out that, well, let's say she's just as dumb as a bag of hammers.
Yeah.
It's, other than just hitting that every once in a while, would you want something deeper?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know you'll be smarter every time?
No, I mean, it's if you're going to pursue a relationship, at least for me, it seems like one of those things where I would want to be able to hold an intelligent conversation.
Right.
At least every once in a while.
Yes.
You know, someone who can think for themselves and has a personality and at least knows what they're, knows what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not like, oh my god, like, Stacey Miller was all, like, in my grill this week. I just can't deal with her because she was saying that her dog is cuter than mine, and I'd be sitting there going, kill me, kill me.
Right.
Just banging my head on the damn table.
Hoping that you expire quickly.
No, I'd take a page and rip it straight out of the book of Kurt Cobain on that one.
Okay.
It's a little extreme. You can just break up with her.
No, I'd have to kill myself. It's in your head at that point.
Thomas Sean Connery was born August 25th, 1930.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was
He is
already
81.
balding by the time he was doing Bond in the 60s.
81.
81 years old.
Or maybe 82. Grandma was born in 24?
Something like that.
Yeah, she's 86. So.
Well, I think it also depends on what day. What would you say? When's
August
the birthday?
25th,
August?
1930.
Yeah, he's...
Edinburgh.
82 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Sean.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
How you gonna do me like that? Just throw a fastball. Like,
You, of
fucking
course-
out of nowhere, Sean just pops out. Oh, baby.
You, of course...
What the hell is this?
I'm assuming that you, of course, if you find somebody physically attractive, then you come to find out that they're just a complete belligerent asshole, that, hey, the attraction was there, but you're not going to want to pursue a relationship.
Right.
You just know it's going to be a controlled dick.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be
it
train
always...
wreck.
Right, so it always starts out as a physical attraction, and then you move on from there. I don't understand why people just don't embrace that.
I think the problem that oftentimes happens is you may begin an attraction based on the physical
Right.
features of another person, but a lot of people don't actually pursue anything further than that.
Right.
And then when the physical features fade, the physical attraction fades, then they just do douchebag things and, throw them away, treat them like shit, make them feel horrible.
Instead of just leave.
And that's not saying, it's just between men and women or, women to women, men to men. I mean, like it's across the board. The genders abuse themselves pretty regularly.
Right.
But I mean, I think a lot of it is just people don't actually, it's just like thinking. They don't want to do it very often, so they just want to have something nice to look at, and they don't really care if the substance is there. So that's where a lot of this, because they don't want to admit that. They don't want to say, because if you admit and say, hey, I just like you because you're pretty, it's frowned upon in society's view of how you should act.
And a lot of people don't hit both sides of the relationship, both sexes actually hit that phase. Like 9 times out of 10, they never hit it at the same time. I mean, a guy will sit there, it's the perfect relationship.
No, you said they never hit it at the same time. Come on, that's funny.
The perfect relationship, just based on superficiality, is that if the man and the woman both just like each other physically and nothing more. But generally, they never seek at the same time with that. So generally, either ends in divorce or, hey, we just move our separate ways. It all depends on maturity. Now, I don't necessarily buy, men are always the eternal child, or they just never mature. You know what? To be honest, as far as psychosis is concerned, I'd rather not grow up. You look at...
Well, there's a difference between growing up and at least maturing in some sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Like a house.
If you're emotionally immature, how can you really sustain a real relationship with somebody? And that's whether you're a male, whether you're female, whether you're in a hetero or homosexual relationship, whether you're in a polyamorous relationship. If you are emotionally immature, you can't... And that's the thing, is everybody wants this deep, meaningful relationship. Well, the generic want is often displayed as a deep, meaningful relationship with another person that you consider to be your other half of you, or whatever, and your yin and yang, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But what happens is they don't. It's like if you're emotionally immature. If you're emotionally immature, you can't actually execute that relationship that you want.
Yeah.
Because, if you're just sitting there and you don't want to do the work that comes with having that kind of relationship, it's not going to work. And then you're going to get frustrated. You're going to be like, and throw it away.
Any relationship worth its salt, worth its endeavor, worth the energy requires work, and it's work every day.
Yeah.
Because if you want to have the perfect relationship, you need to be a friggin'
midget.
Hermit.
Well,
if you live with somebody else, there's sacrifices, give and take, compromises. And I hate using the word compromise because it means that in order to gain something, you got to lose something. Mm-hmm. It's more of an understanding. For example,
each side giving. It's not one side taking away and the other side giving.
But that's the way it's supposed to be. But most people, when they hear the word compromise, don't look at the positive of it. They look at it as, okay, I've got to give up something. Mm-hmm. That's how most people look at the word.
Well, you give up a certain amount of privacy in a relationship where you're living with somebody.
But most people,
a lot of people do the more, and this is one thing I will never understand. You'll notice the most common thing is when men and women move in together, the woman will make the man throw out things of his, like video games, comic books, things like that.
Yeah, I want to see you try.
I don't agree with that.
You get rid of your video games. You get rid of your video games.
You agree that you're accepting
Oh,
person
really?
as they are.
Exactly. I agree that if it's a true relationship, it should be equal, and you have to take the person for everything that they are, not just, oh, well, I like this part about you or that part about you.
Yeah, let me tell you
bring
something.
that up because you know why a lot of women do that?
There's a stereotype.
Because they were taught by their mothers that a man is supposed to be the man of the house, supposed to not behave like a child or play with toys. They're supposed to take care. They're supposed to provide. So if he's still, quote-unquote, playing video games, he has not matured. Because video games are generally played by kids.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
going to say is if
she's saying that's what they're taught.
I was going to say is if that happens to me and she throws away my video games, you better believe she's going to be in the trash next to him.
However,
I mean, but that's the thing too. Is in these situations, it's not like the female's throwing anything out. The female's bringing all her shit in, throwing her doilies everywhere.
Supposed to be domesticated.
Exactly. So it's that's where I'm like, it's imbalanced. It's not. No, bitch, just let him keep his video game.
yeah,
He
let
doesn't
him
compromise that I
have,
had.
he needs a man cave like you.
I mean,
need a
if
female
you're
cave.
exactly. If you don't want to look at it, give him his own room. It's not that fucking difficult.
Bandwagon.
Such a cunt. I mean,
That's why my shit's in here. That's the compromise I had to have.
and why she has a craft room. I mean, so you don't have to look at her crafts.
No, it's not that I don't have to look at crafts. I just wanted to make sure she had plenty of space to do her stuff.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, but most, I
Yeah,
see what you're
yeah.
saying.
Because a lot of guys don't want to look at ribbon and glue guns
Right.
and things like that.
But I
so
knew that if I wanted to have
I
my
like
stuff out of its boxes,
you're not like
I
everything.
had to have a room that wasn't going to be where everybody saw it.
Yeah.
So you guys are different because friends, business partners, whatever, but you also know who I am and I've had this conversation. But if she wanted to bring one of her work associates to the house for a meeting,
The door would be
the
closed.
door would be closed. That's just out of common courtesy. I frankly don't give a flying fuck what most people think about me, but I do give a shit what people think about her.
Now, if I had a room like that, of course it'd be filled with all kinds of space stuff, and where
Music
you're a sci-fi guy, whereas I'm like Nameless and I were talking outside about all kinds of fascinating stuff, and you got to remind me of the website on the way home.
I think the thing too is a lot of people don't understand that you can have a healthy interest in something. Hobbies are no longer something that is this common thread. You either have an obsession with something, or you have a fetish for something.
Yeah,
There
that's
is
what I'm
no
about.
you like something, you have an interest in something. It's either, and this is something that's kind of come out more recently in the more recent years within society. Is you're either with the acknowledgement of certain mental and psychological disorders. Is it's either somebody has an obsession
Hoarding.
or they have a fetish.
What about
Or-
passion?
Passion could be misconstrued as obsession or fetish.
Because
But we understand that you can be a healthy, mature individual.
Exactly.
Maybe a little immature when it comes to talking about sexual topics, but you
That's
can
always
still.
That's
But
always
you
for
can
fun.
still, but you can
Sex
still
is a
have a
primal
healthy
thing.
hobby, a healthy interest. I'm taking up cross stitching. You have your collections. I mean, it's not unhealthy. It's not ridiculous. It's not immature. It's
Yeah,
just
because I've
something
watched
you
that
enjoy.
show about hoarders, and it made me stop and go.
No, dude. You can walk all over this
That's
house.
what my wife told me. She said, if you can see your floor, you can still see paint on your walls. You collect. You're not hoarding. And I'm like, well, apparently there's a fine line.
No.
And she said, to a point, there is.
Well, yeah, but no.
Yeah,
my
no.
mother lived across the street from one.
Pharaoh.
When, before she moved
You're
in with
obviously
my
a board
sister.
pharaoh.
And that woman had piles of newspapers everywhere. You had to basically negotiate a path through their living room, and
But you've also admitted on the show that you have actually sold some of your collections previously.
see, and a hoarder would never do that.
Right. But a real hoarder would rather go bankrupt than actually.
Yeah, than part with anything.
Part with
They
anything.
cannot make, and it's no, you're no.
Well, I mean, I figured that much, but
I mean, trust me, we'll let you know if you get to that
it did
point.
make me pause for a moment.
Yeah.
Right, because you're emotionally mature and you wanted to do a self-check every now and then, and that's really normal. Just like, we were talking about relationships and maturity within relationships. I mean, every now and then it's not unheard of and it's not bad if you just kind of take a look at each other and you're like, all right, as a relationship, how are we doing? Do a little check. Like, hey, we still good?
If I was in
Yeah?
the business of reading
No.
minds, I'd be making some serious bank.
Dude, if I could read minds, or if I was psychic in some way, I'd be in Vegas making bank.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I'd be molesting a dealer. Like a car dealer.
Oh.
Sorry, I'd also molest a drug dealer too, just because I could, really.
Yeah.
Did you
Or
tell
I
me
know what
your
move you'll
mind?
make before you make it.
You could do like
He goes left, I go right, bend him over, molest.
You could do like like they do in the town we're from, and if you don't like them, run over them with your Jeep Cherokee several times.
Or your bat, your big ass truck.
Yeah.
Big ass truck. You skinny teeth.
But yeah,
She's got some skinny teeth on her.
up to your cod.
Alright, is it about that time, ladies and gents?
I think it might be. It is quite late.
It is getting a wee bit on the late side. I might need to put my tiddlywink in a doobly-doo, if you know what I'm saying.
He's going to get his jumblies all up in a roar.
It's just a bloody bummer
Yeah.
What?
that we have to end the show.
But see, the reason it was so good this week is because we had 4 weeks to think about shit.
And then we had nothing to bring to the table.
Yeah, but look at, we filled how many hours?
I don't know.
A lot.
Exactly. We filled like 5 hours worth of stuff.
But I guarantee you there's not 5 hours with recording.
Well, there may not be, but we sure had some fun. I can't wait to do it next
I said it was like
weekend,
at
actually.
least 3.5.
But yeah, next time we're going to be wrapping up the stuff.
Yeah. And I'll
Check us
drive.
out online at bdrrocksonline.com.
Or, and I'm just throwing this out here, I mean, they could just come up to bed. You know,
Oh, that's true.
I'm just saying, I mean, you know.
Now that you
You
go
You
back,
could all stop being some bitches.
Are you done packing?
I will be back next week.
yeah, we could go to Nameless's
There's
bachelor
only
pad.
kind of a week.
I've had less than a week.
We could
I moved in. No, I've had a week. I moved in on Saturday.
we could help him christen his bachelor.
His bachelor pad?
The
Bachelor.
ambulance doesn't come around when I do it. It knows better. Besides, I don't win. I complain.
All right, we're
And on that nugget of
Wife
information,
anyway.
BDRRocksOnline.com.
www.bdrrocksonline.com. Bye!